This woman removes her clothes in front of her paralyzed husband. She looks at her husband without shame. Despite the fact that her husband covets it, he can't do anything about it. It's like a beautiful collector's item. This woman's name is Choi Sun. She's a representative of Korea's largest luxury car club, Rex. It's also a matchmaking company for top tycoons. It's a springboard for all women's dreams. In order to become a member of Rex, women are willing to lose their money, as long as the men here are in their sights. Money, power and status are at their fingertips. As for marriage and love, it's just a business to fulfill their desires. They collect information about the elite from all walks of life. They score their clients' age, assets and ability, and then classify them into grades. Huixing had nothing to do with this. She was a university professor. Her husband is also a company executive. Huixing was extremely happy with her life, but her husband was different. He fell in love with Kang Shi, the company's legal counselor. Finally, he asked Huixing for a divorce. Huixing thought her husband was joking, but her husband's reaction. Huixing realized the seriousness of the situation. She had a big fight with her husband. She told him how hard it was for her to work and take care of the children at the same time, but her husband couldn't be moved by these words. For the sake of that woman, he would even give up his own daughter. The husband packed his bags. No matter how much Huixing begged, he left without a second thought. Then he wanted to withdraw the $1 billion he had put in Kang Xi's account, but Kang Shi simply refused. The husband then realized that he had been cheated. Since the billions were the company's property, the husband had to report Kang Shi to the company, but Kang Shi was well prepared. She lied and said she was coerced by a man. Listening to Kang Xi's recording, the husband was completely panicked. The recording could even send him to jail. He angrily went to Kang Shi to argue, but Kang Shi just ignored him. Then the husband realized he had wronged his wife. He called Huixing. He told his wife everything. Then he went up to the rooftop alone. Huixing rushed to the house, but he was too late. Yesterday was a happy family. Today, it's in shreds. But it's not over yet. Husband embezzled public funds. The court came and confiscated everything in the house. Half a year has passed. Huixing returned home tired. Her mother handed her a business card. It turned out that her mother had given Huixing a membership to Rex. She wanted Huixing to start a new life. In order for her daughter to enter Rex, her mother sold her ancestral ring. Huixing didn't understand what her mother did. The next day, she came to Rex. She wanted to cancel her membership application. While she was waiting, she heard a name she could never forget. Kang Shi was also a member of Rex. She turned around to look, but she accidentally broke an exquisite vase. The loud noise attracted everyone's attention, and she saw the woman who killed her husband. A flame of vengeance flared up in her heart. As the president of one of the nation's top matchmaking firms, Choi Sun has countless resources at her disposal. Single men with billions of dollars are just ordinary members. The most exclusive black and gold members are all worth hundreds of billions of dollars. For women, Rex Club is their chance to change their class. Just a few days ago, Choi Sun received a heavyweight client. The client's name is Hoonju. He has a son and $2 trillion in assets. He's the president of a multinational company. Although Hoonju is divorced and has a son, he's the most sought-after male member with a $2 trillion fortune. Choi Sun visited him personally and asked him what he wants in a woman. The news of Hoonju's joining Rex spread quickly, and Kang Shi, when he got the news, Kang Shi also applied for a Rex membership, but her membership level was too low. She couldn't reach the male members of Hoonju's level. In order to accomplish her goal, the next day, she didn't hesitate to spend a lot of money to get a black gold membership. She also took out a generous gift to bribe the account manager to get herself on Hoonju's matchmaking list. After all this, just as she was saying goodbye to the account manager, she found Huixing. Looking at Huixing's angry eyes, Kang Shi was so scared that she rushed away. She was afraid that she would reveal her dirty deeds in front of everyone. At this moment, Huixing naturally also cancelled the idea of refunding the fees. She had to make this evil woman pay. She searched the internet for information about Kang Shi. Kang Shi is also investigating Huixing. Her first goal now is to marry Hoonju by all means. And Huixing, who knows about her scandal, will be a time bomb. At the same time, there are many women who want to marry Hoonju. This mother and daughter are the most competitive candidates, because the woman's father is the congressman who got the highest vote for president. If she marries Hoonju, it'll be the strongest combination in politics and business. The next day, the woman's mother approached Choi Sun. She asked for her help in marrying her daughter to Hoonju, and promised that if she succeeds, the land under her feet will be yours, and the restrictions on the use of this land will be lifted. When the time comes to build a commercial area here, the profit will be astronomical. This lure is too attractive for Choi Sun, and so it was. In a secret meeting with several of his account managers, Choi Sun made a list of matches for Hoonju. The backgrounds of the women on this list are 1 in a million. Since Kang Shi bribed her account manager, the account manager also put Kang Xi's list on it, but Choi Sun just took her name off the list. Finding a wife for a client of Hunju's caliber is not for the faint of heart. There was nothing the account manager could do about Choi Sun's decision. Kang Xi was gloomy when he heard the news. Looking at the congressman on TV, Kang Xi seemed to have an idea. The next day, she ignored her secretary. She went straight into Choi Sun's office. Despite Choi Sun's objections, she put an envelope on the desk. Looking at the photo inside, it turns out Kang Xi is the congressman's illegitimate daughter. This made Choi Sun ponder. Though Choi Sun is very popular on stage, but in private, she had to kneel down and wash the feet of her paralyzed plutocrat husband. It was only because she made her husband happy. That's why he opened the biggest matchmaking center in Korea. Every day, she waited on her husband, who couldn't even hold chopsticks. It's hard to believe that she has no ambition. Her husband has a son, Hae-jin, but she hardly communicates with him, because when he was young, he was violent and abusive. He beat his wife all the time. The younger brother went to stop him, but his father beat him to death. The mother was also disabled by her husband. Now her mother's days are numbered. Hae-jin held his mother's hand in pain. Mother told him to take back his family's fortune. This is what his mother told him before she died. And so it was. He returned home. When he heard Hae-jin say he wanted to return to his family, Choi Sun's hand shook slightly. The next day, since Hunju's attraction was too great, the congressman's daughter and his illegitimate daughter both approached him. Choi Sun, who didn't want to offend either side, came up with a good idea. That is to organize a masked ball. 20 pairs of members were selected to wear masks and choose freely at the ball. This way, Choi Sun cannot offend both sides. Choi Sun also came to Hunju personally, but Hunju said he won't participate. Choi Sun said that this party was organized just for you. I wanted to give you direct referrals to female clients, but it's better to let you choose freely. It's also a way to show your true self. After hearing Choi Sun's words, Hunju's heart was a little shaken. On the other side, the account manager is also notifying the female members who will be attending the party. Choi Sun's husband's son, Hae-jin, hadn't gotten married because he took care of his mother. On the recommendation of his father and Choi Sun, Hae-jin will also attend the party. When Kang Xi got the news, Kang Xi found out the news and went to the account manager. With a little bit of money, she learned that Hunju will be wearing the only gold mask. The other members will be wearing white masks. Choi Sun was sitting in her office, looking at the two photos in front of her. One is the congressman's legitimate daughter, Mi-jin. The other is Kang Xi, the illegitimate daughter. Choi Sun actually favors Mi-jin in her heart, because Kang Xi's face is full of desire and ambition, and she's constantly pushing her boundaries. At that moment, the account manager came over. Kang Xi and Hui Sheng's husband used to work together. Hearing this news, Choi Sun recalled the tense atmosphere when they met. Then she asked the account manager to inform Hui Sheng to come to the party. I have to say, Choi Sun's tactics are really smart. She wanted to use Hui Sheng to get rid of Kang Xi, and naturally, Hui Sheng would not miss such a good opportunity. On the day of the ball, every woman is getting ready for the ball. Kang Xi's red dress is even more dazzling. Knowing that Hunju will wear a golden mask, she was sure that she could get Hunju through the ball. Unbeknownst to her, Choi Sun had predicted that someone would leak her identity, so she informed Hunju in advance and had him change into a normal white mask, and the golden mask was given to Hae-jin to wear. Unknowingly, Kang Xi thought she had found her target. When she was about to talk to him, she bumped into Hui Sheng, who came to seek revenge, but since both of them were wearing masks, they didn't realize each other's identity for a while. After Choi Sun announced the start of the party, the crowd became active. Kang Xi's eyes were fixed on the golden mask not far away, thinking of how to strike up a conversation without revealing her identity. But her hot body caught Hunju's eye. Hunju went up to her and asked her to dance. But Kang Xi, seeing the white mask in front of her, thought she was just an ordinary member. She just turned her back and ignored her. Hunju was very embarrassed. Not far away, the congressman's daughter, Mi-jin, noticed the scene. She recalled Choi Sun's earlier hint. She thought for a moment, this seemingly ordinary white mask is the main event of the party. She immediately showed a gentle demeanor and went to Hunju's side. She reassured him not to be discouraged. She said she'll be with him. Choi Sun, who was upstairs, watched the whole thing. On the other side, Kang Xi, who recognized the wrong target, was still flirting with Hae-jin. While she was dancing, Hui Sheng recognized her by the tattoo on her back. Her hands were clenched. She wants to expose Kang Xi's ugly face in front of these powerful people. After the dancing session, Kang Xi played pool with Hae-jin. Hunju seems to be interested in Kang Xi. He has the courage to talk to Kang Xi again. The silly Kang Xi rejected the real target twice. Mi-jin is happy to see this. Hunju was devastated when he saw Hui Sheng, who was also lonely. He went over to talk to her. They started chatting. At that moment, Hae-jin also came over. Listening to Hui Sheng's voice, He felt a sense of déjà vu. Hai Jin was about to ask Hui Xing his identity. Kang Shi suddenly came over, but just as she and Hai Jin were leaving, she accidentally fell down. Hunju and Hai Jin extended their hands at the same time. Kang Shi didn't hesitate to leave Hunju alone again. At the end of the show, under the guidance of the staff, everyone unveiled their masks one by one. When it was Hui Xing's turn, she took a deep breath. Under the watchful eyes of the crowd, she slowly unveiled her mask. Kang Shi saw Hui Xing in front of her. Her heart was in her throat. Hai Jin was also surprised. Hui Xing is his ex-girlfriend. At this time, Hui Xing slowly got up, started his own revenge. At this moment, Kang Shi was in a complete panic. Just as Hui Xing was about to reveal her vicious behavior, she was interrupted by a man and a woman, who were arguing on the field. Kang Shi took this opportunity to run away. The rest of the crowd is in chaos. The plan of revenge was interrupted by the drama. Hui Xing was very upset. Kang Shi, who escaped from the venue, rushed to grab the golden mask, but she realized that the other person was not Hunju. She was dumbfounded. The next moment, she was even more devastated, because the man she rejected 3 times was Hunju. Kang's heart instantly turned cold. Thinking back to her arrogant behavior towards Hunju, Kang Shi felt extremely embarrassed. She asked the account manager why the information was incorrect and why Hui Xing, a low-level member, was able to show up at the party. The account manager said it was all arranged by Choi Sun. Due to the unexpected interruption of the party, the matchmaking company adopted an online matchmaking method. They let people at the party choose who they want to meet. Hunju didn't choose Mi Jin, but accidentally chose Hui Xing. Choi Sun saw this and asked Hui Xing out, but Hui Xing said she didn't come here for a blind date. She only wanted to get back at Kang Shi. Then he told Kang Shi about her husband's death. He asked Choi Sun if an indirect murderer, like him, would be accepted by Rex. Choi Sun said that if the client has not committed a crime in the eyes of the law, we can't expel a client without permission. Choi Sun then told Hui Xing that the real revenge is to make herself strong. Although these words were very inspiring to Hui Xing, she still refused Hunju's request for a date. This gave Choi Sun a lot of room to maneuver. She didn't let Mi Jin choose Hunju. Instead, she recommended Kang Shi to Hunju. Hunju found out that the woman, who rejected him all along, chose to go out with him. He was puzzled, but he agreed. When Mi Jin heard what Choi Sun did, she didn't understand. Why didn't she recommend herself to Hunju? Choi Sun said, keeping a certain distance is more likely to succeed. Your goal is to be Hunju's wife, not his lover. A woman with strong desires like Kang Shi, although she will win for a short time, but it won't last long. And Choi Sun's words came true. Kang Shi, who got the chance, suppressed her inner excitement. She asked about Hunju's job, pretending she didn't know him. He then told him about his tragic life, that he had made up in advance. Hunju was attracted by Kang's fake story. After the meal, they went to the bar downstairs. Hui Xing is also dating Hai Jin. They were each other's first love. They are more sincere in their communication. Hai Jin apologized for her sudden departure. Because of her abusive father, he caused his brother and mother to have accidents. That's why he suddenly left without saying goodbye. Hui Xing suddenly notices Kang Shi and Hunju dating not far away. She was puzzled by this. Then Hai Jin told her about Choi Sun's arrangement. Hui Xing then realized that Kang's real goal for going to the party was Hunju. On the way, she recalled Choi Sun's words. A new revenge plan comes to her mind. At that moment, Kang Shi and Hunju had finished their exchange, and she was just as Choi Sun predicted. On the first date alone, she couldn't wait to sleep with Hunju. She is still confident that she'll get Hunju, but she didn't see the disgust in Hunju's eyes. The next day, Hunju's car slowly drove into the courtyard. Hui Xing, who had been waiting for a long time, went over to him. It turns out she's here to tutor Hunju's son. The next day, Hunju gave her a huge diamond ring. She accepted it happily. She even dismissed the driver on purpose. She offered to let Hunju come to her home, but Hunju's face didn't look right. Then he turned her down because he was too busy with work. Kang Shi offered to take Hunju home, but she saw Hui Xing in front of his house. It turns out that Hui Xing is the tutor that Hunju's mother hired for her son. Kang Shi was worried that Hui Xing would reveal her past, so she said something bad about Hui Xing first. When Hunju heard this, he was suspicious. When he got home, he grabbed Hui Xing's arm and asked her if she was trying to get close to him. And Hui Xing was very angry. She said she will quit when your son finishes his exams. On the other hand, Choi Sun, who knew that Kang Shi had failed, immediately arranged for Mi Jin. She used Mi Jin family's political power to propose a marriage with Hunju. Even for the sake of the company's image, you should have a perfect marriage. You shouldn't marry a woman like Kang He. And she frankly said that Kang Shi is just a plaything that she gave to Hunju to fulfill his needs. I have to say, Choi Sun's eloquence is second to none. Hunju was once again impressed by Choi Sun's words. He decided to meet with Mi Jin, and this time, the location of the meeting was very different. He chose to take Mi Jin to the track. On the other hand, Kang Shi, who was supposed to go golfing with Hunju, naturally cancelled her appointment. Hunju didn't even bother to inform her. She angrily approached Choi Sun. She asked her if she was planning to use herself as a stepping stone for Mi Jin from the beginning. Choi Sun said it's all your own fault. The first time you met her, you couldn't wait to give yourself up. This kind of cheap behavior will only get Hunju's resentment. She went back and looked at the diamond ring on her hand, and realized that it was actually Hunju's test. On the other hand, Huixing is teaching Hunju's son, Junho, with great care. Junho is also fond of this gentle teacher. He even feels like a mother. And because of Huixing's teaching, he got a perfect score on the exam. While the whole family was happy, Huixing resigned because of Hunju's mistrust. So she agreed with Hunju that she would leave when Junho finished his exams. Then she left. Her mother also scolded Hunju. Junho also asked Hunju to bring Huixing back. Hunju also heard from Haijin that Huixing is a very good woman. Since her husband died, since her husband's death, she's been bringing up her child by herself, no matter how hard it is. Combined with all this, he also felt that Kang Zis' words were a deliberate attempt to discredit Huixing. So he thought for a long time. He called Huixing again. Then he apologized to Huixing again. On the other hand, She realized that Hunju's attitude towards her had changed drastically. Unwillingly, she came up with a plan again. She went to Hunju's house late at night. She angrily slammed the ring on the table, pretending to be angry. She said she's not short of money. I don't want your things, but I've already taken it. It's a little late for that. Seeing that Hunju didn't try to stop him, so he walked back in embarrassment. This time, She used a provocative tactic. She said she doesn't have feelings for Hunju at all, especially that night. Hunju was so weak, and it really worked. Hunju reached out and grabbed her. Then they went to the bar. She also said in a relaxed manner, now that it's over, let's be friends from now on. She said that on her lips, but in his mind, he was already planning to get drunk and take Hunju down again. But at that moment, Huixing happened to bring Hunju's son home. After seeing each other, both women's eyes were filled with anger. Zis' plan to get her drunk failed. She was so angry that she warned Huixing again. But Huixing said, as long as I'm here, you'll never get Hunju. She senses Huixing's determination to take revenge. In order to speed up the process, the next day, she came to Hunju uninvited. She said she wanted to give Hunju's company some advice, but Hunju didn't want to talk to her. Later, during dinner, she mentioned Huixing by accident. Hunju said that your previous opinion of her was all a misunderstanding. Huixing is actually a very good woman. Looking at Hunju's high opinion of Huixing, Zis' heart is very uncomfortable. She said directly that she wanted to marry Hunju. Hunju, after hearing this, politely stated that he has no plans to get married at this time. Then he picked up the phone. She realized that he was just a clown in the eyes of the rich man. On the other side, Junho got a perfect score on the exam again under Huixing's tutoring. Hunju happily proposed to take him on a cruise. Of course, he's taking Huixing with him. The four of them started their trip to the sea. At this moment, Hunju looks at Huixing's eyes with a hint of affection. After dinner, Junho cut his hand while organizing the fishing gear. When Huixing saw it, she hurriedly bandaged it for him. This heartwarming scene also touched Hunju again. Afterwards, the two of them stood together and chatted. The sudden bumps of the yacht made them unexpectedly have some physical contact. It also brought out a different feeling between them. In the evening, Haijin accidentally saw a picture of Haisang and Hunju. He felt a tinge of jealousy. And it seems that nothing escapes Haijin's stepmother. She said she could help Haijin win Huixing's heart. She seems to be helping Haijin on the surface. But Choi Sun knows in her heart, her husband has always been very strict on his son's choice of spouse. If his father knew that his son was with a divorced woman, Haijin will definitely break off his relationship with him. And then the Chaeble's inheritance will become hers alone again. And after separating Hunju and Huixing, Mi Jin can also marry Hunju. So under Choi Sun's arrangement, Haijin and Huixing met. At the same time, Hunju and Mi Jin's date was also arranged by Choi Sun. The two groups met by accident. Looking at the opposite sex beside each other, both of them have a look of displeasure on their faces. Haijin took Huixing's hand, and Mi Jin, not to be outdone, took Hunju's arm. She massages her wealthy husband every day. Choi Sun, on the surface, she's a gentle woman, but in her heart, she wants this old man to die. But before that, she has to find a way to get the son of the plutocrat out of the house. Under her careful arrangement, the four of them met awkwardly, and this interrupted the fledgling relationship between Hunju and Huixing. Until that day, Hunju's ex-wife came over. Without saying a word, she slapped Hunju in the face. It turned out that she was trying to get back at Huixing. He deliberately made up a lie in front of his ex-wife. He said that Hunju was sleeping with your son's tutor. After hearing this, his ex-wife insisted on taking his son away. She also scolded Huixing. It was also because of his ex-wife's appearance. Hunju remembered his ex-wife's betrayal. He was upset and wanted Huixing to talk to him, and he told him about his previous betrayal. Huisheng listened and realized, the rich man in front of me had such an unknown experience. Huisheng also told the story of Kang Shi, who killed her husband. After exchanging their thoughts, both of them felt relieved. Hunju also expressed his love for Huisheng. Huisheng was silent after hearing this. Hunju was embarrassed and said he was just joking. At the same time, he also has an idea to help Huisheng to take revenge. A few days later, famous dignitaries in Korea received invitations to a cocktail party from Hunju. Of course, they included Huisheng, but what's hard to understand is, Kang Shi, who had been neglected by Hunju, also received an invitation. On the night of the reception, Choi Sun and Zaibatsu also attended. Hai Jin also formally introduced Huisheng in front of his father. Seeing that his son is finally getting the hang of it, the father was very pleased. But when it came to Huisheng's past, father was shocked. Choi Sun rushed to make peace with the situation, but Huisheng was angry at Hai Jin's decision and left. Hunju hurriedly pulled Huisheng back, because he wanted to announce a big news between Huisheng and Kang Shi in front of everyone. After Kang Shi heard this, she hurriedly explained to Hunju that Huisheng had made up all these lies. She never framed her husband. She was the victim of her husband's rape. Hearing Kang Shi say that, Huisheng also produced a key piece of evidence, a ring that her husband still wore before he died. The ring was engraved with her husband's and Kang Xi's names. At that moment, Huisheng's husband's leader also appeared on the scene. Without saying a word, he slapped Kang Xi in the face. Then he told Kang Shi what he had done. Listening to Kang Xi's defense, the boss took out a recording of the two of them. It turns out that the two of them conspired together to frame Huisheng's husband. I didn't expect to succeed. The boss was reported to jail by Kang Shi. Hunju found him. If he was willing to identify Kang Xi, I will find a way to get him out of jail. Now, the evidence is all there. The prosecutor, who has been waiting for a long time, also came out. Looking at Kang Shi being taken away by the prosecutor, they thought it was all over. But only one night later, Kang Xi's figure appeared in front of Hunju again. It's as if all the evil never happened, all thanks to her father, the congressman. It turns out Kang Shi is the congressman's illegitimate daughter. The congressman was worried that his illegitimate daughter would jeopardize his career. He abandoned her when she was very young, and when she grew up, Kang Shi came back to him. At the crucial moment of his presidential campaign, the congressman, of course, would not admit his paternity to Kang Shi, but Kang Shi produced a paternity test, and she did it so that her father would help her marry Hunju. After that, she would disappear from his world. When Kang He was arrested, the congressman had to take care of her. At the same time, he also fabricated a lot of negative news about Hunju's company. Hunju watched the news on TV and felt bad. The company's shareholders held an emergency meeting to remove Hunju as CEO. In order for Hunju to officially step down, there must be an official meeting of the National Pension Labor Union. The person who can decide whether or not to hold the meeting is a congressman. Hunju had to plead with the congressman not to call a meeting. The congressman agreed to his request, but on one condition: Hunju must marry the woman he appointed. Looking at Kang Shi, who walked in, Hunju was stunned. Then the senator left on the pretext of work. Only now did he realize how scary Kang Shi was. And her revenge is not over yet. Today is Huisheng's daughter's birthday. Huisheng has prepared a big meal at home. However, her daughter was already being watched by Jen Kangxi. When she was crossing the street, she was hit by a speeding truck. When Huisheng learned the news, Huisheng rushed to the hospital like a madwoman. She had already lost her husband. She couldn't afford to lose her daughter again. After the doctor's efforts to rescue, although the daughter's life was saved, but she fell into a serious coma. The doctor said if she doesn't wake up in 2 weeks, she'll never wake up again. Huisheng cried helplessly. I thought it was a simple traffic accident. The driver of the truck admitted that he was fatigued. But in the evening, Choi Sun suddenly came to visit. She handed Huisheng a bunch of photos. Looking at the photos, Kang Shi and the truck driver were trading. Huisheng found it unbelievable. Before he could take revenge on Kang Shi, the counselor's wife found her first. It turns out she knew about the counselor's secret help for Kang Shi. This completely enraged her. In order for her daughter to marry Hunju, she approached Huisheng and made a deal. She could put Kang Shi in jail, but only if Huisheng leaves Hunju forever. At night, Huisheng returned to the hospital and received a package. It turned out to be a repaired cell phone. She found it by accident when she was sorting out her husband's belongings, but it was damaged and couldn't be turned on. Now that it's repaired, Huisheng was shocked by the contents of the phone. After hearing their conversation, she realized why the congressman was in full support of Kang Shi. The next day, she went to the congressman's office. She told him to pay for what Kang Shi had done, or else she would reveal their secret to the public. Naturally, the congressman refused. Facing Huisheng, who didn't flinch, the counselor had no choice but to silence him. At night, Huisheng was on his way home when he was stopped by 2 cars. He was put in the trunk of the car. As the car was gradually crushed, the congressman's heart was set free. On the other side, on Hunju's initiative, Kang Shi and he held an engagement ceremony in front of a crowd of reporters. However, The sweet words that were expected didn't happen. Hoonju signaled to his men. The news of the congressman's illegitimate daughter was immediately shown on the TV screen. Kangxi saw the situation and tried to leave, but Hoonju grabbed him. Hoonju then told the public about Kangxi's crime and the fact that she was the congressman's illegitimate daughter. Reporters are taking pictures of her. The report is being broadcasted nationwide. The congressman was furious. At that moment, the wife came in. The congressman is still yelling at his wife to help him out, but he didn't know that his wife was working with Hoonju, and that she didn't kill Huixing. Instead, the congressman will be charged with aiding and abetting a murder. When the congressman found out the truth, he was so angry that he grabbed his wife's neck. At that moment, Huixing rushed in with the police. The congressman's career in politics ended at that moment. The father and daughter will be held accountable for their despicable behavior. As the congressman's crimes came to light, the truth about the false accusations against Hoonju Corporation has also come out. At the same time, Huixing's daughter woke up in the hospital. Hoonju saved his company. He also saved his relationship with Huixing. Haijin also respected Huixing's decision, even though he had a lot of reluctance in his heart, but he still respected Huixing's choice. In the end, Choi Sun didn't get anything, but she learned a news that made her angry. It turns out that the chairman wants to give all his property to his son. From the very beginning, the Zaibatsu never wanted to give her his property. He has already given Choi Sun the Rex Club. Choi Sun should be satisfied, but Choi Sun wouldn't give up. Then she spoke of her years of resentment in her heart. The Zaibatsu was so angry that he felt a pain in his heart. He fainted. Looking at the chairman lying on the hospital bed, Choi Sun wanted to kill him, but in the end, she gave up. This woman with a strong heart held on to the bottom line at the last moment. Due to her breakup with the Zaibatsu, Rex, which she had worked so hard for, was about to close down. Just as she packed her things and was about to leave, an unusual-looking man walked in. The man told her that her business was not over. These words inspired Choi Sun. Professionalism was mobilized without any need to brew. This time, she'll rebuild her matchmaking empire on her own.